Why did I stay with my shitty ex? Am I in a toxic relationship? How am I going to move on and find love? We're your hosts, Izzy
and Meredith,
and welcome to
ExFacts,
ExFacts, Relationships and Breakups. Relationships are confusing. When they end, we're left picking up the pieces and wondering what went wrong. So, each episode on ExFacts, we'll hear stories from real people sharing their experiences in relationships. We'll also hear from experts to help us uncover the deeper meaning behind our actions and emotions. At the end of every episode, we'll answer a listener's question. No topic is off limits, so ask us anything you want to know. From conflict and healing to dating and love, ExFacts will take you on a mind-blowing journey to explore all aspects of our amazing, imperfect, frustrating relationships. Thank you, everyone. Welcome to our fourth episode of ExFacts. Our fourth episode of ExFacts, Relationships and Breakups. So welcome Magdalena. She's our guest today, and she helps high-achieving spiritual women tap into their feminine power and attract their soulmate they desire. So welcome, Magdalena. Do you want to just give us a little introduction about you and what you've gone through in relationships and how that's led you to the career path you're on and your journey to becoming your best self today?
Yeah, I've been actually my journey started like more than 20 years ago. I still cannot believe in that, but it's more than 20 years already.
Wow.
It's like,
but you only look like you're 28, so.
Yeah, I know, but I'm 49. I'm 49.
Girl. Keep it going.
Still rocking it.
Yeah.
Kudos for my doctor. But yeah, it started like about 20 years ago with my self-development and spiritual development. And actually I started working with women like 8 years ago. Yeah. But I was calling myself transformational coach at that time. And I was dealing with a lot of transformations. Yeah. Like about career, about partner. It was kind of mixed. Yeah. But then after some time, I discovered that men are actually partners, or the significant other is so many times appearing in these processes. Yeah. It's like, it's like something that is really very, very important in our life. Love is important in our life. Relationships are important in our life. And we have all the myriad of troubles connected with that. Yeah.
We all know about that one.
And probably I started here to help women with that. But actually what I am doing is I say, find yourself and find your soulmate, because it's never the other way around. Yeah. And women who are looking for this significant other, sometimes this mistake, what I am observing they are doing, they are looking outside, yeah, because they think that it's an outside work, yeah, that, we are installing some app, we are going on that. Definitely we must take some action, but it must be aligned action, inspired action.
Keep the desperation to a min.
Yeah. So what actually I am doing usually is like working on their relationship with themselves. This is the stuff, and when we do this, actually, everything changes in a kind of magical way. Yeah. But this is, I think, the biggest thing. Yeah. Like when we want the soulmate, we must become the soulmate. We want to date, marry, whatever. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Like you have to love yourself before other people can love you, because I feel like people exude the energy they get back to themselves. So if you're not giving off good energy, if you're not giving off love to yourself, then you're never going to get that back. So in your life earlier on, did you experience like the opposite, where you didn't have a good relationship with yourself and you attracted the wrong, the people who were not great for you?
Oh my gosh, definitely. I think all the mistakes that you could make, probably I was making. Yeah. And, probably it also was related to my sexual trauma, which I experienced when I was 17. Yes. And it was really very deep. And I know it impacted my relationships with men, my sexual life, also me as a human being, because it's such a, humiliation and just devastation of everything you could be. I was just 17. So, you know, you can imagine that you are a young woman, yeah, a girl, actually, a teenager, and everything
Yeah.
devastated all your dreams, yeah. So I had to really build myself, you know, step by step from scratch and create myself once again, I think, yeah. And even I changed my name. I was so, when I started doing
Wow.
this work, yeah, and I was doing this work on myself, and I was thinking like, this Agnes with all this mindset, with all this humiliation, with all these bad stuff that she experienced. I don't want to, you know, I keep Agnes in my heart, but, you know, I just wanted to change everything. But now, of course, from this perspective, it was more than 30 years ago, I can sort of understand it, because sometimes the women that come to me, and I don't have, you know, this written on my forehead, yeah, I was raped when I was 17, but the women that are coming to me quite often, it's too much to say, but sometimes they also experience some kind of abuse, including sexual abuse, yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm not a therapist, definitely, but I work also with soul, with energy.
I'm so sorry you went through that.
You know, I had problems with binge eating after that, with all like going kilograms. I didn't like myself. I hated my body. I was insecure. I didn't like myself. All the things you can imagine. Yeah, it was me. Yeah. And then I started to work on myself, but probably at the beginning I was doing a lot from the outside. Yeah, because also I was thinking, like with this soulmate attraction, yeah, I was having this illusion that when you change the outside, everything starts to come just to you, yeah.
Yeah.
And what was happening, I started to be, let's say, attractive, yeah.
Yeah.
But because I was not healed, I was not in my power, I started to attract men, of course, handsome, but narcissist, kind of, you know, emotionally abusive, you know, this kind of guys, yeah.
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 Then my experience that led me to another conclusion: woman, you have to do the inner work, yeah.
Yeah.
This one, actually, miracles happen. So I know, and this is like my deep inner knowing, that this inner work, and even I wouldn't call myself I wouldn't call it work, rather this inner journey within.
Mhm.
This is something what miracles, yeah, because we are changing, we are starting to exude this really goddess power, this feminine magnetism. We feel good in our body, in our head, and yeah, this changes everything.
What are some of the specific techniques you use to take care of that inner journey, or like for yourself and also for the people you work with? Like, what specifically do you recommend to help facilitate that?
You know, I'm using a lot. Actually, you know, I was at the beginning of my journey, I did like post-diploma studies, coaching studies, ICC, international coaching accreditation. But then I started to kind of weave my own way, yeah. And I included everything you can imagine, yes. So among others, of course, from this, let's say, more typical, I do the mindset work, like dealing with beliefs, yeah, and conviction beliefs, yes. So this is kind of, let's say, typical. So there's some special technique if you want, especially to do some healing, like on the spiritual level, on the soul level, subconscious patterns that, you know, dealing with only mindset work might not be enough, yeah. So I'm, of course, visualization, guided meditation, this is all I'm using, yeah.
Nice. That's so awesome. I mean, I kind of want to like delve into that whole idea of transformation more, because like I feel like I've had stages in my life when I've tried to transform, not as drastic as you, Magdalena, where I've changed my name, but you know, I've tried to kind of reinvent my identity because I wanted to reset, like, and I feel like there's two sides of that, because sometimes you want to stay constant in yourself, but you also need to like have growth and, you know, a feeling of a break from before. So I don't know, where do you find that balance of like trying to, you know, stay true to yourself but also reinvent yourself at the same time?
I think that it's not maybe the question in my case. It wasn't like a question of balance, because I love developing, because I see the results in myself and in the women I work. So I think that, oh my gosh, it's so good that this developmental and spiritual path exists, because otherwise we would be just immersed in all this collective fear and all this shit that is going on. Yeah. And for me, it was always the question, like, I become curious. What's the next chapter in my life? Yeah. So I just want to feel empowered and have this goddess vibe every day and feel good with myself. And also when I work with my women, because I think that kind of fear, false evidence appear real. Yeah. It's always when we enter some new space. Yeah. Enter
New
some
transition, something
even with
uncomfortable.
even if
And I know
we-
Meredith, like you're going, Meredith's going through a divorce right now. So she's going through a big transition, and how do you feel about that?
I actually, it's been weirdly great. Like, I mean, certainly it's heartbreaking and terrifying and all of that. But again, to like give the backstory, I basically I think didn't really step into myself and do that work and grow until recently. So my husband and I have been together for 20 or 15 years. I don't know. Math is whatever. But when we got together, I was a completely different person than who I am now. And to your point, Izzy, even though I'm different, I feel more authentic now than I ever have. So it's like, I'm not denying the person that I am. I'm learning more about myself and stepping into it. But yeah, anyways, it's going fine. I mean, it helps that my ex is like an angel and we're still living together and everything. Like, we like hanging out. I texted him something silly about our cat this morning. So that's helpful. It's definitely, it has its moments, but I feel like I'm like stepping into my power. I want to, exactly what you're talking about, take the time to myself and figure out who I am, what I want, and I need to do that on my own. So it's lonely sometimes, scary, but necessary, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, I've been working with also my mentors and my teachers, and they're telling when you enter this unknown, instead of fear, put this curiosity, what kind of magic can be revealed, because very often when we are in some relationships, when we entered some years ago, we were really different persons, we were like, you married somebody, you were like different people, and it's like nothing wrong with that, because just sometimes our paths go different directions, but very often, as you said, Meredith, it's this time like I'm taking this sacred space for myself, like, okay, who I am now when I'm 30 or 40, because this 10 years ago, 20, you were a completely different person, so now it's like this time, like, to this alone space. I think it can be really beautiful playground to just meet yourself, something, okay, now I can sort of mirror myself in other people when I'm on my own, when I'm looking and when I'm seeing my authenticity in this moment, when I'm taking this moment, like, okay, who I am, as you said, what I like now, because maybe this last 10 years I haven't asked myself this question, cardinal questions: who I am and what I want. And if you have these two and you have clarity, oh my gosh, you have it's more than half of the success. Who I am, what I want at this moment of my life.
No, that's definitely great advice. So as part of the podcast, one thing we might want to do every week is answer a question from a listener. And this time, I've gotten a couple questions from some people from my Facebook group. So that's great. So one thing that I thought would be applicable for us to all go around and talk about, because I think it's something actually we all have in common, is talking about how we live alternative lifestyles to very different degrees, and how easy and difficult it is in today's society to do that.
Are you trying to trigger me?
I have my story too. I already thought about it in my head, so don't worry, you're not alone on that. I can go first if you want. That's my question.
Probably should.
So one thing that I feel like is different compared to normal society is, like, I've been with my boyfriend for 8 or 9 years now, and we're not married. And every time I talk to most, I guess, stereotypical non-alternative people, they're always like, oh, where's
Basic
the ring?
people.
Yeah, basic people. They're always like, oh, where's the ring? Why aren't you married? And I'm just like, I don't care. Like, I personally don't. I don't know. It's just like,
You don't
not
need
something.
it.
I don't need it. We've been together for a while. Like, there's no pressure for me. We don't have kids right now. It's like, whatever.
And also, like, what is the difference besides a ring
and a certificate?
Yeah.
Certificate and the collar, and he's mine.
Yeah,
exactly.
But he should be yours now, and if he's not, then you don't want to marry him anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's not like on my priority list in life. It's like way down there. Like, so anyways, that's my alternative story. So you guys,
and also I think that it's very good that you mentioned that, because there is still, we have 21st century, and maybe the witches are not burned anymore, but we still have so many societal pressures.
Metaphorically, they are.
Yeah, because I would be burned at stake many times. I know for sure.
Because you're hot.
People try to put their dreams on us.
Yep.
They know what's best for us. Being authentic, which is like, I think, our superpower and weapon for this societal pressure. I think, like, just say what you feel, and do not explain yourself. And this is our life. And I don't know if you heard, she is, I think, the nurse from some palliative hospital. She wrote these 5 reasons what people regret when they were dying, something like that.
Oh wow.
We need something, whatever, I don't remember. But one of these 5 reasons that these patients were repeating, it was like, I didn't live my own life.
Yeah.
And I wasn't true to myself. I was like meeting expectations of others. And I think that's the key, that you know what you want and meet your own expectation and your own desires and your soul desires, and go after that.
Yeah, you're literally describing everything that's going on with me right now. That's what I always say, is like, nothing's really wrong in my marriage. I love my husband. Like, we have a great life, but that's what kept coming back to me, is that I didn't want to be on my deathbed. Like, what could I have done had I had the courage to explore that and go out on my own and try it? And I think another big topic that you kind of touched on earlier is fear. Which I had, this whole time up until 6 months ago. And it's really hard to get past that. But I think in order to grow, there needs to be a certain amount of recklessness, like calculated recklessness. You just have to say, fuck it, and see what happens.
Yeah.
Because if that's authentically what you want, you'll come out on top. I hope. TBD.
Yeah. And we need this courage, because, only the courage gives us this drive to go forward after our dreams. But it's this, for me, the most important is living my truth, really. And people are sometimes afraid that they will be left alone. Okay, some people will disappear from your path, but these are not anymore your people.
Yeah,
and if
that's true.
somebody doesn't like you because you just express your truth, this is not your person from your tribe anymore. That's what is my message. If you are afraid that you are going to live your truth and you will be alone, I can tell you really for fucking sure, I'm sure you are very sorry that
We
you
swear
will
on
not
this podcast. We're
Yeah.
cool.
we will not be alone, because always you will find this energetic match with the people with your like-minded tribe, and yeah, they are sometimes better than family. I can say so.
Yeah, same thing. I feel like I'm like usurping this episode, but
No.
it's just all related to, I'm going through that right now. I've definitely lost really good friends that I never ever envisioned losing. But with that, like you said, I've met so many more people. There's like this influx of new people in my life that I think are attracted to being around me because I'm stepping into my authenticity, and they're like amazing, open mind. It's people who I want to be around now, who understand me. So it's, even though you lose, it's, you're gaining more than you're losing.
Yeah, true. Exactly. Exactly. And I think that this, for me, the most important is being in alignment with yourself, with your values, knowing your values, knowing like your principles. Yeah. What is something I can negotiate in relationship also, and what is something that, sorry, this is not negotiable. Yeah. Some kind of things, sorry, this is the break.
That's a deal breaker for you.
And it's good to have, like, really take a pen, piece of paper, your sacred space, and okay, what I'm looking for in people, just not only soulmates, yeah, but just generally my like-minded tribe. So what kind of people are these people, yeah? And what is for me a deal breaker? Yeah. So this clarity, I think, is also empowering. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I totally agree. So I think that's a great place for us to end. And Magdalena, do you want to tell people where they can find you on Instagram or social media?
Definitely. The best place to find me is Facebook, just Magdalena.
Me too.
Yes, I'm soulmate alchemist. So this is the place where I'm usually spending most time. I'm a little bit on Instagram, but Facebook is probably the place where it's easiest to find
Okay,
me. Yeah.
Great. And I'll put the link below this episode so everyone can find you. And thank you everyone for listening. See you next time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening. You can catch a new episode of ExFacts next week. Hit that follow button so you don't miss out on any of the action. We want to hear from you, so leave us a comment or review. Until next time, bye.